Today we're putting that Dutch oven to use and we are making the most delicious French onion soup. Obviously onions are a big component of this, so we're going to start with some large onions. These are sweet onions, but you can use Vidalia or Spanish. Try to not use just straight up white onion. They're probably not going to have the same profile flavor-wise, but cutting it up is also a key ingredient here. You need to have very nice slices. So we're going to cut off the top and bottom root ends, peel off that outer layer after chopping it in half, and then we're just going to cut it nice and thin. Go work your way across the onion like we did in my knife skills video. You don't need to really turn the knife like I did in that video. We're just getting some nice thin slices. I do like to also have some other larger pieces just to give it a little bit of texture as the little ones melt down. Also, if you see any of that brown root left over, just chop that off, get rid of that, and just keep going. I'm only going to use 2 of these onions because I'm making this as a 2-person portion, so basically 1 onion per person. Melted down in the soup is the goal, but this is what you're looking for. Just kind of spread them out just so they break apart a little bit. And now we're going to start cooking them. We're going to take about 1 tablespoon worth of butter here, maybe a little bit more. Add a little bit of olive oil to that into your Dutch oven. You could use a regular pot also if you want. Dutch oven's just a little easier to conserve the actual heat, and then melt that down. This is on very low, basically between off and medium heat. Very, very low, constantly monitoring it. And now we're just going to add in those onions. Right after you get all of them in, salt them now, which will help them reduce some moisture, which will also help in the caramelization process, and then just mix that all up. We're going to let this sit for, it's probably going to take about an hour to really caramelize all these. So getting it started here, coating them well, salting them well is going to be very helpful. While those are going, we're also going to make bread, kind of toasty crouton type toppings. Some people don't do that in their French onion soup, but we're going to just top our soup with this and then the cheese. This is just a standard baguette. I let it sit out for about a day, and now we're just going to top it with a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of salt, and then we're going to throw that into the toaster and just get it very slightly crispy. It's going to go into soup and get soggy anyway, but it's just nice to give it a start, a little bit of crisp. You can also omit the salt here. The cheese will have salt, but throw that in, and then you're left. After about 5 minutes, just pull them out. That's what you want to do. You don't want to burn these. You don't want them super toasty. That's what you're looking for. This is the onions after about 10 minutes. They're starting to get a little bit weaker. They're starting to get soft. They're not browning yet, but this is where you want to keep them. You don't want to see them starting to burn. This is after about 20 minutes, 25 minutes. You're seeing a little bit of fond form. Try to be gentle with the onions. You don't want to turn them into like mash. Here we are after about an hour. This is as far as I personally want to take them. You can keep going and make them really, really dark, but this is where I like to stop cooking them. At this point, there's a good amount of fond also on the bottom. I know some people hate that word, but that's the brown bits that stick. We're going to deglaze out with a little bit of bourbon. You can use anything you want. You could use a white wine at this point. Use some vermouth if you want. You can even just use water. This just adds a little extra flavor compound to it, and it's just a real nice way to kind of elevate a basic dish here. As you put that in to glaze the bottom, really try to scrape up those bits without being too harsh on the onions. You don't want to be smashing the onions here. They can turn into very much of a mush, which you don't want. At that point, we're also going to add a tablespoon of flour. Mix that in and let that cook out so it's not just raw, but this will help it thicken up a little bit in the soup. It doesn't need to be super thick. You're not looking for like gravy consistency here. Just very slightly above straight liquid is what I prefer. You don't need to do that at all. And then we're going to add some beef broth. You can make it yourself if you want. That will give you a much nicer mouthfeel and texture. I did not feel like making broth today, so we're just using store-bought. Try to get the best quality ones you can. If you can get like the frozen ones that still have a lot of gelatin in them, even better. And then just mix that up, and we're going to let that reduce by half. If it needs salt, taste it at this point, and I'm going to add a little more, but now it's time to just let it reduce. Here it is. I didn't go full half, but it's getting to the consistency where I wanted, and we're just going to build this now. This is such a simple recipe. You're basically just heating up broth with some caramelized onions. Put those into a nice little crock potty thing. I don't know what these are called. It's not made just for French onion soup, but make sure it can go into the broiler is the important part. Throw in your cheese. We got a mix of mozzarella, and that is chopped up Gruyere cheese. It doesn't always float, so it may drop into the bottom. That's totally fine. Throw on that bread, repeat that process, add a little more on, get a little more mozzarella on there, and now we're going to throw this into the oven. It's on broil. The goal right now is just to melt and brown this cheese. Your soup is fully cooked, so 2-3 minutes and you should be good to go. Here's the result after 2 or 3 minutes under the broiler, and man, that looks absolutely delicious. If you can get more cheese to sit on top of the liquid, that's totally fine, but it kind of floated in the areas that there aren't any bread, so it's totally fine also. Top it with a little bit of chives at this point. Gives a little pop of color. Really needs that, and it'll give it a little bit of freshness. But there you go. The most delicious and easy French onion soup. It's cheesy, it's umami, you get that deep beefy flavor, and it's very easy to cook. It'll take a little bit over an hour and a half, but it's worth it. It is easy, it's just time consuming. Give it a try, let me know what you think.